As you can see, I survived the worst, but my life is glorious.
All right. Welcome to the Bald Eagle Podcast. I am Shawn Cressman. I am the Bald Eagle. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Okay. So the Bald Eagle Podcast, if you're unaware, is a 99.9% Philadelphia Eagles podcast. And I say that because, maybe 0.01% we talk about NFC East rivals, which is still Philadelphia Eagle related, right? And we talk about some NFL news that doesn't necessarily impact the Eagles. Hopefully it will this year because we're talking playoff news, but that's okay. But I also have some rules, right? Not just a 99% Eagles podcast, but also a very structured, very rule-based podcast. And those rules are important to me, right? The first rule, the whole reason I made rules was because I hate politics. So you will not hear anything other than me telling you I don't like politics about politics on this podcast. If you are on the left or on the right, or if you're in the middle, if you're extreme of anything, I don't care. Do what you want. We don't talk politics. We hate politics on this show. Rule number two, another thing that bothered me about other shows is that they talk about some of the NFL players or sports players in general, personal lives. I always mention, almost every episode I mention Fox NFL Sunday, how they interview somebody and they, you figure out how they grew up as a kid and like their favorite, the bullying they went through or the instruments they played or how their mom died or, and all that stuff is heart-wrenching, but I don't care about any of it, to be honest with you. If it doesn't affect the game, we don't talk about it. And lastly, just as a because I like things in sets of threes, I'm not censored, so I do what I want. Okay, let's get to the first part of the podcast here. A newish part of it. Beer with the birds, right? And so the beer with the birds, to give you a background, was I'm not a big beer drinker, to be honest with you. And I thought, hey, what's the best way for me to test different beers? And I thought, who doesn't like to drink beer while they're A, listening, or B, talking about football? I do. So I thought I would connect with all of my, dozens of fans by drinking a beer with you guys, right? Now, generally, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it in the beginning, right? I didn't know if I would pick a local brewery and go through all of them or just kind of randomly pick beers. So I initially randomly picked beers. So, and then I changed my mind and said I would do one brewery and go through all the beers I could find in singles, because I'm not going to buy a case, buy singles at my wherever they sell beer, right? So I went through Victory Brewing Company. I went through Yards Brewing Company. And then I still have one left from when I just picked out singles. So today, and I know I didn't give you guys any heads up because I prefer that you guys drink with me. But today I'm going to do a Troegs Perpetual IPA. It's technically not a Philadelphia beer. It is from Hershey. So you could argue that that's, it's Pennsylvania. And Hershey isn't any closer to, Pittsburgh than it is to Philly. I think it's probably closer to Philly. So you could say that this Troegs Perpetual IPA is somewhat Philly related. I don't know. I don't really care. I got to get rid of it. And then next week, I'm thinking the Evil Genius is probably going to be my next brand that I rip through. But so right now I'm going to drink the Troegs Perpetual IPA. If you just happen to have one of these in your fridge, go grab one, pop the top off, and let's drink together. What I generally like to do, and by the way, if there's any graphic designers out there that listen to this, or people that know, how to make commercials and stuff, it'd be really nice to have little video introductions of my segments. So reach out to me, and assuming that you're willing to do it for a minimal donation or for free, let me know, and we'll connect, right? So Perpetual IPA by Troegs. By the way, this is an Imperial Pale Ale, and they don't have a lot of information on their website about them, but it says that we taste citrus, notes of pine, and subtle grain. Go Birds. I have a pretty shitty palate when it comes to beer. I guess I can taste the citrus, but anyway. By the way, the other thing about the Bald Eagle podcast is that even before the Eagles decided it was going to be their slogan for the season, we were saying "Go Birds." So I'm going to sue for exclusivity on that one and probably lose. Okay, so the next part of the show, the countdown, and this is where I would like a little introduction, right? I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to embarrass myself. But what is that? The Bald Eagle countdown would be pretty sweet. But anyway, because we always count down to something. So today we always count down to the games, right? So we're counting down one day, not a real long countdown, because we play the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Philly at home tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, 8:20 p.m. You can watch it on Fox. You can watch it on NFL Network, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. So big game. Coming off a win against Carolina on Sunday, going to be a struggle to beat them. They do well in spots that we do not. Tom Brady's one of the best, if not the best quarterback ever to play. Fortunately, Gronk's not going to make it, but they have some good receivers. That's our weak spot is our secondary. Well, it wasn't last week, right? And we'll go into details, right? But so one day, tomorrow night, we play the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers again, Thursday Night Football at home in Philly, 8:20 p.m. Current standing. So we did beat the Carolina Panthers 21-18. In a few minutes, we'll do what I'm known for, the most in-depth play-by-play analysis about that game. And on a side note, I've been talking this whole time about how the NFL Game Pass, it doesn't have coaches film, blah, 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 right? Well, they got it back. They finally got it back. And so I was able to do more analysis, the kind that I like to do. Maybe not a big deal to a lot of people out there, but it is to me, because the NFL Game Pass has the coaches film, and the coaches film shows you an all 22 view. So I can see everybody on the field for the full play. So I can see things that aren't in the broadcast, like coverages. I can see if Jalen Hurts drops back and runs, did he have any open receivers? Was he staring down the receiver before he threw the ball? Lots of things, you can find out without the broadcast. It also has the end zone view, which is basically the tackle box view. So you can see the different stunts that are run. You can see who won or lost in the line of scrimmage. So real detailed information. And that's what I really like to do. I looked at each one of those plays, I'd say at least 3 times each. Most of them I looked at both the all 22 and the coach's box. Some of them I didn't, because they're kind of random, and I don't want to be here. It took me 5 hours, and I don't want my podcast to last 5 hours. So anyway, so it's back. Hopefully it stays. So I get to live my truth in that I am the most. I have the most in-depth play-by-play analysis of any other show I've seen out there. So we won. So that means we are now 2-3. Current standings. I want to go over them, but I hate to mention certain teams. The Cowgirls are at the top, 4-1. We're technically tied with Washington at 2-3. However, Washington has a better division record. They're 1-0. We're 0-1. I think they also have more points for. I don't know what the first tiebreaker is. I think it's division record. Either way, they're technically ahead of us in second. We're in third. And then you got the Giants, who are 1-4. So this is week 6. This is the first game of week 6 when we play the Bucks. Week 7, Sunday, October 24th at 4:05, we play the Rams. Week 8, Sunday, October 31st, 1 p.m., we're at Detroit. Go Birds. Week 9, Sunday, November 7th, 4:05 p.m. against the Chargers at home. Week 10, Sunday, November 14th, 4:25 p.m. at Denver. Week 11, Sunday, November 21st, 1 p.m. at home against the Saints. Week 12, Sunday, November 28th, 1 p.m. at the Giants. Week 13, Sunday, December 5th, 1 p.m. at the Jets. That we have that late week bye. Again, latest bye in the NFL. Us, Dolphins, Colts, and Patriots also have the week 14 bye. Week 15, a to-be-determined game. And I was a little curious about this, because ever since they've come out with schedules, this week 15 was to be determined. It could be a Saturday or a Sunday, the December 18th or 19th. It is against the Washington football team at home. Now, we aren't the only. I did a little more digging. I did some investigative research here. And I went to the NFL's website and looked at the schedule for week 15. There are 5 other games that are to be determined. So it's not just us. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But for some reason, week 15, there's 6 games that are to be determined right now. Week 16, Sunday, December 26th, 1 p.m. at home against the Giants. Week 17, Sunday, January 2nd, 1 p.m. at the Washington football team. And we finish up the season, hopefully in a position to get into the playoffs and to knock the Cowgirls out by playing them Sunday, January 9th, 1 p.m. at home. That would, if you're a diehard Eagles fan, or if you're even just a mediocre Eagles fan, you have to, by default, hate the Dallas Cowgirls. It's just part of who you are, right? So there's nothing better than eliminating them from the playoffs and at the same time getting us in. So that would be an amazing way to end the season. It's going to be tough to pull that one off, but doesn't mean it's impossible. Now, the postseason is a little different, and that's where we talk about NFL news, right? Wild Card Weekend generally is Saturday and Sunday, right? And it would be the 15th and 16th of January. However, this year they've thrown in a Monday night football game as part of Wild Card Weekend. So it'll be Saturday and Sunday, January 15th and 16th, and there'll be one game on Monday night, January 17th. The divisional playoffs are the following weekend, Saturday and Sunday, January 22nd and 23rd. And then the championship games are played Sunday, January 30th. And then Super Bowl 56 is Sunday, February 13th, 2022 at SoFi Stadium, home of the Chargers and Rams. Beautiful stadium, by the way. Oddly enough, they had to postpone a game because of weather, even though it's technically covered. So weird little situation there. Anyway, so, I just went over the schedule. I went over important days about playoffs. I do this every podcast. Some people might like it. Some people might not. I do it for two reasons. Number one, I do it for me. I have a horrible memory, and constantly repeating our schedule helps me remember certain things. I don't have it memorized yet, but I mean, I should. But and then I'm also going to go over our draft picks. I'm going to keep you up to date on what we're going to get next year, because that can change, and we're going to keep. I'm going to keep you abreast of that situation. In addition, I'm going to remind you of who we got this year, so you can see how well our draft picks are doing. Again, partially for my own benefit to remind myself, and for you as well. So moving forward, let's talk about the draft picks. So let's move to the future. We currently have 10 draft picks in the 2022 NFL draft. As it stands, we have 2 first rounders. Nothing will change that. We have 2 second rounders. Now, if Carson Wentz is able to hit certain metrics, that second rounder will become a first rounder. That would be 3 first rounders. That would be amazing. We also have a third rounder, a fourth rounder, 2 fifth rounders, 2 sixth rounders. One of those 6 rounders goes to Jacksonville for Gardner Minshew, but could become a fifth if he plays, I think, like more than 25% of the snaps in 3 games, which, knock on wood, doesn't happen, because that means we're working on our third stringer, right? So hopefully that stays a 6th rounder. Now, in the most recent draft, we started off with, I think, 11, which was tied for the league high. Went down to 9 after we did some negotiating. 10th overall, first round, Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Alabama. I would say so far hasn't lived up to quite the hype of a Heisman winner, or of what we all hoped he would do. But he is not by any means a Jalen Reagor, right? Or any other first round receiver that we picked. He's not that disappointing. I think he's been okay. Hasn't lit anything on fire, but he's been doing okay. I mean, he had the first, a week ago, he had the first 100-yard receiving game by a receiver since 2014. So that's nice, but we need some more consistency, right? Round 2, number 37 overall, Landon Dickerson, center from Alabama, been playing a lot lately. Round 3, number 73 overall, Milton Williams, defensive tackle, Louisiana Tech. He's been playing a lot lately. Round 4, 123 overall, Zech McPherson, corner from Texas Tech. I don't know if he did very well in camp, but I guess he must not have been doing very well in live situations, because he has not played a single snap on defense, to my knowledge. Special teams, by all means, but not defense. I guess Nelson and Slay are pretty established, but I'd like to see him get some stuff in there, because even though Nelson and Slay are relatively established, they haven't been remarkable this year either so far. Round 5, 150 overall, Kenneth Gainwell, running back from Memphis. Great pick. Having a great, I would say he's probably, as of right now, probably our best rookie. He probably doesn't have quite the production as Devonta Smith, but he hasn't gotten nearly the touch or the game time either. Round 6, 189 overall, Marlon Tuipulotu, defensive tackle, USC. Round 6, 191 overall, Teron Jackson, defensive end, Coastal Carolina. He's had some playing time. Round 6, 224 overall, Jacoby Stevens, linebacker, safety, LSU. Only guy we drafted that didn't make it to the active roster. Last time I checked, he was on the practice squad. I'm not sure if he still is. What's up, J818? And then last but not least, round 7, 234 overall, Patrick Johnson, outside linebacker from Tulane, who has been getting some playtime as well. We had like maybe 5 or 6, I don't recall the number, of undrafted free agents. We only kept one, Jack Stoll of tight end, who may get some playing time against the Bucks. Okay, let's get to the most in-depth play-by-play analysis of the Panthers game. The Panthers win at Bank of America Stadium. Go Birds. Okay. We get the ball, running up to the 22, so we got 1st and 10 on our 22. Hurts is in the gun, throws a pass on the right-hand side to Reagor, and it's dropped. Has good protection. It's a quick, accurate throw. Reagor was open. He just didn't catch the ball. What's up, regular life? Go Birds. That brings up a 2nd and 10 on our 22. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back, throws a screen to Sanders. So the way this screen was set up was that the screen was supposed to go inside. You can see the blockers were coming and running outside, and they had their backs to the inside. If you weren't aware, when you're running the ball, no matter if you're running back or receiver, you're supposed to run to the back of your blockers, right? That kind of common sense. But Carolina does a good job of reading the inside screen, and they're basically clogging up the inside. However, if you look to the left, the outside, or deep to the left, Sanders has a wide open field. If he were to immediately, when he catches the ball, yeah, I don't know what this means, regular life. I'll put it up, but I don't know how the banana would get in your ass without you knowing. But anyway, so a screen to the right to Sanders, inside screen. Sanders goes to run inside. It's all clogged up. And in fact, the disappointing part about this is that when Sanders catches the ball, his positioning, the way his feet are positioned and his eyes, he's looking straight inside. So he probably doesn't even notice, there's a wide amount of field to his left. He bounces it out to the left. And there would have been a ton of room, but he doesn't. He focused straight ahead of him. He's, his frame is aimed inside. He tries to go inside, and there's nobody there. 7-yard loss on a screen, real disappointing. But at the same time, Sanders could have read that differently and made a huge gain. But and I'm going to say this: I think that Miles Sanders, and I've said it almost every time, he's one of the top 5 running backs in the NFL, in my opinion. But as a former semi-pro running back, and I played in high school too, right? And there's an element of getting used to the way your blockers block and getting comfortable with the plays. I don't know how many people can just jump in and play 11, 12 snaps and be on the top of their game, right? So the little bit that we've been playing, I think, has really been affecting him, and I think it's hurting his ability to play well. I feel like he would have had a better read had he practiced that more often and had he played that more often in games. I might just be speculating, but that's my opinion. So that 7-yard loss brings up 3rd and 17 on our 15. We throw an outside screen this time to Miles Sanders, and he gets 6 yards, so a little bit better. Unfortunately, Rager was penalized for offensive holding. They decline it, so that ends up with the 4th and 11 on our 21, so we punt. Carolina gets the ball 1st and 10 on their 38. They're in the shotgun. They give it to Hubbard off the left for 5 yards. Barnett, who had I'd say an okay game. He took his man upfield, which is, if on a pass play would be his job, right? To rush upfield and try to get the quarterback. However, on running plays, he's not supposed to let his man take him upfield, because what does that do? It creates a huge hole. And that's what happens. He lets his man take him deep into the backfield. The rest of the line, so he was on the left, blocked right, huge hole for Hubbard. He gets 5 yards. Alex Singleton does a decent job grabbing him. Unfortunately, does too good of a job and grabs his face mask. It's a 15-yard penalty. So now Carolina has the ball 1st and 10 on our 42. Darnold in the gun throws a pass on the left to Freeman. Hargrave beats his man inside. Can't quite get to Darnold quick enough. Avery bites on a route behind him, leaves Freeman wide open, and that's a 6-yard completion. We got 2nd and 4 on our 36. They run Hubbard up the middle for 1 yard. 3rd and 3 on our 35. We bring 4. Darnold's in the shot. I'm not sorry, he's not in the shotgun. He drops back. We bring 4. We aren't unable to get pressure. Darnold has plenty of time. The receivers in both flats were wide open, and they both had room for a 1st down. But he's looking over the middle, not really focused on the outside of the field, and doesn't see anybody. Runs, gets 5 yards on 3rd and 3. And this is another thing that's been frustrating, especially at this game where I was actually able to see it. Oftentimes, even on short yardage situations, and when we were in zone, our zone guys would drop back 10 yards. So we were just giving up at least 5 to 7 yards, almost guaranteed on almost every play that we ran zone. And on this situation, 3rd and 3, I don't recall the defensive formation. But we did it often, and this was a situation where both flats were wide open, so I'm assuming we did it again. So after that 5-yard completion on 3rd and 3, they get a 1st and 10 on our 30. Darnold throws a pass to the right. He fakes to Hubbard, rolls to the right, Barnett does an excellent job staying with Darnold, just can't tackle him in the open field, which is disappointing because Darnold isn't that athletic. Darnold misses their tight end, Thomas, wide open downfield, would have been an easy touchdown. Fortunately, he missed them. And he misses wide receiver Marshall crossing from left to right and ends up throwing it away. So, and this is why I say, and why I've said that, we're not going to, this is why I think we're going to struggle against Tom Brady. Tom Brady won't miss these guys. We benefited throughout this game of Darnold missing receivers. And that's how we won. And that's only going to be achieved, in my opinion, against good quarterbacks if we can pressure them, right? We got to throw them off their game, bump the guys off the line of scrimmage, which I didn't see us do at all this game. So anyway, that incomplete pass brings up a 3rd and 10 on our 30. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We bring 4. Sweat's able to get around their right tackle Christensen to pressure Darnold. He rolls to his left. He misses another open tight end, Thomas, and throws it away. So that incomplete brings up 4th and 10 on our 30. They kick a field goal, and it's good. That makes the score 3-0 in favor of the Panthers. That was an 8-play, 32-yard drive. Took 2 minutes and 27 minutes off the clock. They kick off. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 25. Hurts in the gun, throws a pass to the left to Zach Ertz. First, he fakes to Sanders, throws to Ertz on the slant. Ertz drops it. And we'll talk about how many times he was targeted. Well, I'll tell you right now, he was targeted 6 times, caught 1. I would honestly say that at least 3 or 4 of them were dropped by him. And I'm not saying I predicted this, but I'm saying I wish we would have found a way to get rid of him early on and let Goddard take the main role and then find a good, suitable backup. Maybe Richard Rodgers. He was pretty good now. He's not with us anymore, but so that incomplete pass brought up 2nd and 10 on our 25. We run Sanders. We do an RPO, and he gives the ball to Sanders up the middle for 6 yards. Brings up a 3rd and 4 on our 31. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. Initially, protection is good, but their defensive tackle Brown gets around Dickerson, forces Hurts to get rid of the ball early. Rieger isn't looking. Ball is behind him. If Dickerson gives him Hurts another 2 seconds, Goddard is wide open deep down the field. Now, I'm not sure if he would have seen him, but potential there for him to get open if Dickerson can keep maturing. He's a rookie, right? I don't think he played much last year either because of his injury. So hopefully he starts maturing, gets better, gives Hurts a little bit more time because that could have been a big play. Instead, it's incomplete. Rieger isn't able to catch it because he's rushed. So poor offensive line protection, bad play by Dickerson, poor pass, and Rieger wasn't even paying attention. So poor awareness by him. So that brings up 4th and 4 on our 31. We punt. Panthers start the ball 1st and 10 on their 5. They run Hubbard to the left, pushed out of bounds for 6 yards. Barnett runs deep again. Their offensive line blocks down. Big hole for Hubbard again, 6 yards. That brings up 2nd and 4 on Carolina's 11. There's a false start. So they got 2nd and 9 on their 6. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We bring 4. We're unable to get pressure. Darnold throws to his right, trying to throw it over Slay to DJ Moore, but Slay's able to make a leaping catch for an interception, returns it to the Carolina 10. Excellent play by Darius Slay, which hasn't really, again, he's supposed to be shut down Slay, not really living up to that this year or necessarily all the year last year either. But good play by him, giving the impression to Darnold, who again is not a top tier quarterback necessarily, that there was space between him and the receiver, and he was able to grab it as an interception. And turnovers, by the way, are going to be another way that we're going to win games. The only way we're going to be able to consistently win games is to consistently cause turnovers, force turnovers, which we did a great job of this week. So we get the ball 1st and 10 on Carolina's 10, 1st and goal. 9:02 left in the first quarter. We throw an inside screen to Watkins. Poor blocking. If Watkins runs it wide left, he has a shot. All of his blocking was crashing down from left to right again, but he bounces it to the right, and he's chased down for a 5-yard loss. Why we run so many screens? I mean, I guess I understand. Andy Reid was the screen king, and he had a lot of success, but we just haven't been overly successful with it. Been pretty disappointing in general with our screen game. Go Birds. So that brings up 2nd and goal on Carolina's 15. We throw another screen, this time to the left to Miles Sanders. He got 3 yards. Brings up 3rd and 12. 3rd and goal on Carolina's 12. Hurts is in the gun. He's got great protection, staring at Goddard, who's covered well. Misses Gainwell, who's open left in the left flat. The pocket starts to collapse. He rolls to his right, sees Devontae Smith open, throws a short pass. A pass that's too short, right? Devontae Smith has to run up to catch it. But running up takes him out of the end zone, and he catches it on Carolina 2. Decent play by Hurts. He extended the play by rolling right. He found Smith, threw a pass that only Smith could catch. Smith did an excellent job running back to your quarterback. That's a very valuable thing to do, and oftentimes can make the difference between a reception and interception, or an incomplete pass if you run towards your quarterback when he cut off the route. Unfortunately, he missed Gainwell, and Gainwell I think could have made it into the end zone had he thrown it to him early. So that brings up 4th and goal on Carolina's 2. We go for it. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. 2 receivers to his left. He fakes to Sanders. Ward's the inside receiver. He cuts out. Smith is the inside receiver. Smith is the outside receiver, and he cuts underneath and inside. Hurts throws a quick, accurate ball for 2-yard touchdown to Smith. He's wide open. The play works well. Unfortunately, it worked too well. This is the one where Greg Ward actually hit the corner covering Smith instead of just getting in his way. And if you look at the replay, which, if you watched the game, most of you did, if he just runs towards the defender and then gets out of the way, that's enough of a pause or hesitation for Smith to get open. So it was unnecessary, that hit. So after that penalty, 4th and goal on Carolina's 12, we kick a field goal, makes the score 3-3. That was a 4-play, negative 2-yard drive. Took 2 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock. Elliott kicks off. Carolina gets the ball 1st and 10 on their 38 with 6 minutes and 39 seconds left in the first quarter. They run Freeman to the left for no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10, Carolina on their 38. Darnold in the shotgun throws a pass over the middle to Thomas. We bring 5, including a safety blitz with Maddox, who has a free shot at Darnold. Unfortunately, we're in zone. We're a very poor zone team. Thomas is able to easily find a spot in the zone very quickly over the middle. Darnold's able to see him, drops it off before Maddox gets there to hit him. We need to get better at zone. We also need to get to the quarterback quicker, right? Combination of the two, right? You do better in zone and nobody's open, then the quarterback gets hit more quickly, and that play could be significantly different. So that brings up 1st and 10 on our 49. They run Hubbard to the left for 26 yards. That wasn't on the replay, oddly enough. Game Pass is awesome, but it missed this, of all plays, it misses this 26-yard play. So after that 26-yard run, it's 1st and 10 on our 23. They run Hubbard to the right this time for only 3 yards. Teron Jackson, who we know is one of our rookies, is the guy who tackles him. So that brings up 2nd and 7 on our 20. Darnold's in the gun, throws to the left. Jackson does an inside stunt, pressuring Darnold to scramble left. Good coverage downfield. Darnold's forced to throw it away. So good play by Jackson in our secondary, which I should say, I shouldn't say we're horrible in zone, right? Because we don't always fail at it, but we're not the best. So after that incomplete pass, brings up 3rd and 7 on our 20. Darnold's in the gun again. He throws the pass this time over the middle to DJ Moore. Moore easily beats Maddox inside. Darnold throws an easy pass for 14 yards. So on 3rd and 7, they get 14. That brings up 1st and goal on our 6. They run Hubbard to the left for 1 yard, brings up 2nd and goal on our 5. This time Darnold's in the gun, throws over the middle to Anderson. Maddox actually redeems himself, has good coverage, and the ball falls incomplete. So that brings up 3rd and goal on our 5. Darnold's in the gun again. We're in zone. Maddox and Nelson go with Anderson. Nobody covers their tight end Tremble. Darnold sees him wide open, throws a 5-yard touchdown pass for the score. Come on, Birds. Go Birds, right? Extra point is good. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 25 with 3:09 left in the first quarter. Hurts in the gun. Has good protection. Throws a quick, decent throw over the middle to Devontae Smith. Smith drops it. Hurts misses Rager wide open to Smith's left. Had he thrown the ball deeper into Smith's left, Rager was just standing there at the sticks, wide open, nobody on him, easy completion. But he has his favorite receivers, and I don't know that I would. In all honesty, if it came down to it, I'd rather throw to Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert out of all of our receivers and have more confidence that they'd catch it. So that brings up a 2nd and 10 on our 25. Hurts in the gun again. Throws a pass this time to Rager. Good offensive line protection. Quick, accurate throw just as Rager's making a cut. So it's a timing throw. Complete for 8 yards. So good job by everybody around there. Brings up 3rd and 2 on our 33. Hurts in the gun again. This time he throws a short pass to Gainwell. Good offensive line protection. Quick, accurate throw for 8 yards. Brings up 1st and 10 on our 41. We run Gainwell up the middle for 4 yards. Brings up 2nd and 6 on our 45. Run Sanders up the middle for 1 yard. Brings up 3rd and 5 on our 46. Hurts in the gun again. Drops back. Throws over the right to Ertz. He has, in this situation, this was a struggle for me, right? Because Bouye has good coverage. Now, if Ertz pushes the route deeper, maybe the timing's a little bit off, right? Because it was a timing pattern. Hurts threw the ball, I think, right after Ertz made his cut. And realistically, he should have pushed it deeper because even if he catches the ball, I think he got 4 yards instead of the 5 we needed to get a first down. So he should have pushed it deeper. Maybe he would have thrown off the timing. I don't know. Or to avoid the ball getting knocked down, Ertz should have kept running towards Jalen Hurts, just like Devontae Smith did the play earlier. That was almost a touchdown, right? Keep running towards your quarterback. Now, unfortunately, because he didn't run deep, and if he would have run towards Hurts, no chance of getting a first down. Would have been 4th down, but maybe 4th and 1, 4th and 2. But instead, Ertz doesn't run a real deep pattern, turns around, essentially floats forward, letting Bouye get a better position, stick his hand in there, and knock the ball out. So could have been better on a lot of fronts. I would blame, honestly, I'd put the blame on Ertz. Had he run a deeper pattern, he would have been able to come back towards Hurts and maybe had a completion. Had he run it deep enough, maybe a completion that would have been a first down. And on our 46, or 48, so 4th and 1 would have been on our 42, or I'm sorry, would have been on the 50. We probably would have went for it. I think we would have went for it. I don't know. But instead, it's a 4th and 5 on our 46, so we punt. Carolina Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their 27 with 26 seconds left in the first quarter. They run it to the left for 5 yards. That ends the quarter. So we start the second quarter. Carolina 2nd and 5 on their 32. Darnold in the shotgun, throws a screen to Marshall for 6 yards. Brings up a 1st and 10 on Carolina's 38. Darnold throws a short pass over the middle to Moore. Slay gives Moore a significant cushion, which is what I believe is our defensive philosophy is let them grab the short passes, but prevent them from getting anything deep, which we've been somewhat successful at so far this season. So after that completion for 12 yards, which I would say is more than I'd like to give up, that's a 1st and 10 in midfield. They run Hubbard up the middle for no gain. 2nd and 10 on the 50. Darnold's in the gun, drops back. We bring 4. Sweat's able to get outside of their right tackle Christensen, forcing Darnold to climb the pocket. Fletcher Cox is fighting with his blocker, spins around, pressures Darnold right as he throws the ball. Downfield, their wide receiver Anderson runs right by Maddox in man coverage and is wide open. McLeod keyed on a receiver over the middle, ignoring Anderson running deep. Fortunately, the pressure from Cox causes a poor throw that's thrown outside. Had the ball been thrown inside, Maddox would have been burnt. It would have been a touchdown, but poor pass on the side of Darnold. Now, this is what I'm saying. Had it been, Tom Brady or not Drew Brees is not currently in it, but Josh Allen or even Garoppolo tore us up, right? Dak Prescott, any of those guys would have thrown the ball more accurately to the inside, touchdown, where Maddox gets burnt. But fortunately, they don't. So that brings up 3rd and 10 on midfield. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We bring 4. Initially, we're not able to get any pressure. Darnold steps up right as Fletcher Cox gets inside on their right guard. Miller hits his arm as he throws. Downfield, Maddox isn't deep enough into his zone, and Nelson keys on Anderson, leaving an open gap in between the two. Marshall's wide open. Fortunately, the pass is too high due to the hit by Fletcher Cox, and it falls incomplete. Again, another situation where a receiver was open on 3rd and 10 would have been a first down, but our defensive line is able to cause a poor throw. So good job, defensive line. So that brings up a 4th and 10. They punt. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 8, 12:51 left in the half. We run Miles Sanders up in the middle for 3 yards. Ertz struggled on this one. He can't block Reddick, who crashes down and tackles Miles Sanders. Had he not, Miles Sanders probably gets at least 6 or 7 yards. Brings up 2nd and 7 on our 11. Hurts in the shotgun, throws a pass to the right for Sanders, who's pushed out of bounds after 2 yards. Brings up 3rd and 5 on our 13. Hurts in the gun again, throws a pass to Ertz on the right-hand side. They blitz outside. Hurts throws a quick, accurate pass. Ertz actually catches it. That's his one catch for the game for 7 yards and a 1st and 10 on our 20. Hurts is in the gun again, drops back. Defensive tackle Brown gets outside of Driscoll, forcing Hurts to run from the pocket. No one was open. Hurts rolls to the right. No one gets open in the process. He has to throw the ball away. So that brings up a 3rd and 8 on our 22. Hurts is in the shotgun again. Defensive end Burns gets around Dillard, pressuring Hurts from the pocket. Hurts rolls to his left. Gainwell is open the whole time, but Hurts waits to the last minute to throw the ball to Gainwell. Everybody keys on it. Gainwell drops it, and immediately after he drops it, he gets hit. Had Hurts given Gainwell the ball earlier, at least it would have been a completion. Not sure if he would have gotten the full 8 yards, but one move, which I think Gainwell will be capable of doing, most likely would have gotten us a first down. So another, these are all things that I think can be fixed with, hopefully with experience and time, but we'll see. Yeah, you know what? On Instagram here, VA757 said, run the ball. 100%. I 100% agree. Miles Sanders, one of the best running backs in the league, barely gets the ball. Would do wonders for our team, I think. So we punt the ball. Carolina Panthers get it back 1st and 10 on their 26 with 9:54 left in the half. They run Freeman up the middle for 3 yards, brings up 2nd and 7 on their 29. They run Hubbard to the left for 3 yards. This time, Singleton does a great job filling the hole and causing the run to be much. And I think if I recall, he was one of the last guys there. If he doesn't catch him, he gets a couple extra more yards. So it brings up 3rd and 4. Carolina has the ball on their 32. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. Hargrave throws left guard Daly's hands to the side, beats him inside for a free shot at Darnold. Darnold doesn't have enough time to do anything. He's sacked for a 9-yard loss. Excellent play on 3rd and 4 by Javon Hargrave, who's having an excellent season. So after that sack, it's 4th and 13. Carolina punts. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 33 with 7:45 left in the half. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. They bring 6. We do a good job picking it up, but only 2 receivers are running routes, and neither one of them are open, which is, that's why we were able to pick up their blitz. We brought in a bunch of guys, 2 tight ends to stay and block, but that means only 2 guys are out in patterns, which means it's easier for them to be covered. Eventually, Luvo gets free, pressures Hurts, who rolls right and ends up throwing the ball away. So that brings up 2nd and 10 on our 33. Hurts in the shotgun again, throws a pass to the left. A screen to Watkins on the left-hand side. No gain. This time was a bad block by Rager. Rager comes and tries to block Bouye, doesn't do a good job at all. Bouye ends up tackling Watkins for no gain. All right, so that brings up a 3rd and 10 on our 33. Hurts in the shotgun again. He drops back, has great protection. Burns and Fox cross stunt, so they cross each other. They block and then switch. Dillard can't pick up Fox. Sanders runs right by him, doesn't even chip block him. So he ends up pressuring Hurts, who has Goddard open early, but doesn't throw it. He's waiting for something deeper on 3rd and 10. Hurts rolls to his right, finally hits Goddard at the first down marker. Unfortunately, through all of that, which would have been a first down, Mailata was holding. So that kind of eliminates that play. So we got 3rd and 20 on our 23. Hurts in the gun again. Throws a screen to Rager. Devontae Smith goes straight to block the outside corner. Watkins goes left to get the inside guy. Nobody gets Bouye, who's right in the middle. He comes up, makes a good open field tackle, and that screen only goes for 1 yard. So we got 4th and 19 on our 24. We punt, give the Panthers the ball 1st and 10 on our 40. 5 minutes and 51 seconds left in the quarter and the half. Darnold drops back. Throws a pass. We drop back into zone, throws a pass over the middle to Hubbard. This is what I'm talking about. Our first, so picture the field right now, and we drop down back into a zone coverage, which means, each corner is not necessarily on a specific guy. They're going to a specific part of the field. The guys that were closest to the line of scrimmage were 10 yards off. So we're basically giving, on a 1st and 10 on our 40, we're giving them at least 7 yards. You figure if the running back comes out of the backfield over the middle on the 5 yards deep, throw it to him, easy completion. He gets a couple of yards because he can move. In this situation, it was 11 yards. So horrible. I don't know what kind of defense that is, but just not one that I like. So after that 11-yard completion, 1st and 10 on our 29, they fake the toss to the left. Then they end up tossing it to Moore going right. Avery does a great job staying home. That's his position. The outside linebacker's got to stay, or the defensive end's got to stay, contain anything coming his way. Unfortunately, he can't make the tackle, but he slows Moore down enough for help to arrive. Moore gives up and lays down, and unfortunately, Alex Singleton hits him late. So there's a 15-yard penalty on that one. So even though he lost 4 yards, they get a 1st down and 10 on our 18. They run Hubbard to the right for 1 yard, brings up 2nd and 9 on our 17. They throw a screen to the right-hand side to Thomas. Excellent open field tackle by Slay, who limits it to a 1 yard loss. Excellent play by Darius Slay. What's up, Graham? Only place I can't stream directly to. Kind of sucks, All right, so after that 1 yard loss, good tackle by Slay, 3rd and 10 on our 18. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We only bring 4. Coverage is good downfield. Good job by the secondary. Sweat bull rushes his man right into Darnold, tackles him for a 7-yard loss and a sack. Excellent play by our secondary. Excellent play by Josh Sweat. So that brings up 4th and 17 on our 25. They kick a 43-yard field goal. It's good. So that makes the score Carolina 13, Eagles 3. That was a 6-play, 15-yard drive. Took 3 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock. Come on, Birds. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 16, 2:35 left in the half. Hurts is in the gun, snaps the ball. It's high, goes over his head into the end zone. Instead of jumping on it, which would ensure at least a safety, or kicking it out of bounds, he tries to pick it up, I think even with his left hand, and he's right-handed. Gives Carolina an opportunity to jump on it and get a touchdown. Fortunately, they don't. The ball ends up going out of the end zone, and it is a safety. So that makes the score Carolina 15, Eagles 3. That didn't take any time, I don't think. So we have a free kick, which means it's essentially a punt from, I don't know, like the 35-yard line. So the Panthers start the next drive, 1st and 10 on their 35 with 2:21 left in the half. Hubbard runs to the left for 2 yards. Eric Wilson, Alex Singleton, excellent job filling the hole. That brings up the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 8 on Carolina's 37. They run Hubbard up the middle for 9 yards. This time we did not fill the hole well. 1st and 10 on Carolina's 46. Darnold is in the gun. He throws a pass to Hubbard on the right-hand side. We're in zone. We drop back that 10 yards. Throws underneath. Hubbard catches it. Easy 8 yards. And I guess I would say this would be the only acceptable time for us to play that type of a defense, when there's, in theory, not enough time for them to go all the way down the field. And they're deep, which I don't know that I would say they're deep in their territory. But so that brings up a 2nd and 2 on our 36. Hubbard runs to the right. Kerrigan does a good job with contained, sheds his block, actually has a stat for the year. It's a 5-yard loss. Excellent play by Kerrigan. So that brings up a 3rd and 7 on Carolina's 49. Darnold's in the gun, throws a pass to the left for Anderson. Anderson runs an out route just short of the first down marker. Nelson's there to push him out. Decent play by Nelson to prevent good play by Nelson to prevent the first down. Why Anderson didn't run past the marker and turn around, I don't know, but fortunately it was a bad play, and a bad play by them, good play by Nelson. It brings up a 4th and 2, and they punt. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 16 with 31 seconds left in the half. Jalen Hurts drops back in the gun, throws a pass to Rager on the right. Luvu puts a spin move on Dillard and hits Hurts right as he releases, so not quick enough. Downfield, Rager runs an excellent route, starts as if it's a go, so he thinks he's running deep, so he's going full speed. Stops, cuts it short. Chandler's left going backwards, can't recover quick enough. Hurts throws a quick, accurate timing throw for 15 yards. But Dillard, after bragging about, being one of the best offensive linemen in the league, has struggled so far this season. So that completion brings up a 1st and 10 on our 31. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back, has excellent protection, shuffles to his left. He's got to stop doing that. Throws a deep pass over the middle to Smith, who's crossing from left to right. Misses Watkins over the middle, who's wide open deeper. If he throws the ball downfield to the right, easy touchdown for Watkins. Easy touchdown for probably, at least a 30-plus yard completion. But he still gets Devonta Smith for 17 yards, so not all is lost. We call a timeout, 20 seconds left, 1st and 10 on our 48. Hurts in the gun again, and there's defensive offsides. It's a free play. Hurts does the weirdest thing. He recognizes it's a free play, which means you can do whatever you want. You can throw an interception, you can fumble the ball, and you just enforce the defensive offsides penalty, and it all goes back to nothing. So he directs the receivers down to the end zone, throws a deep pass, but the ball's out of bounds. So it was all kind of stupid. I mean, had he thrown it inbounds, at least we might have had a shot. If it gets picked off, no big deal. We take the defensive penalty. If it's a touchdown or a completion, then we decline the penalty. We get the ball deep in downfield. But anyway, that brings up a 1st and 5 on Carolina's 47. Hurts in the gun, throws to the right to Smith. They bring 5, including their safety Franklin, who gets a free shot on Hurts. Hurts is able to get rid of the ball and throw a quick, accurate pass to Smith, who was able to find a spot in the zone. Good play by everybody there. We call our last timeout. 1st and 10 on Carolina's 40. Hurts is in the gun. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back, has good protection, but he shuffles to the right. Again, got to stop that shuffling because he's moving into his blocking, which he does here. And he should have climbed the pocket and let the blocker stay around him. Throws a high pass to Ertz. It's uncatchable. He stared at Ertz the whole way. Had he stared at Ertz, then thrown the deep ball to Gainwell. It would have been a touchdown. Gainwell was wide open. Right as Hurts was winding up to throw the ball to Ertz, he pulled away. It would have been an amazing play had he seen Gainwell downfield, but he didn't. So that incomplete brings up 2nd and 10 on Carolina's 40. We kick a field goal, and that ends the first half. Score is 15-6 in favor of the Panthers. That was a 5-play, 44-yard drive. It took 31 seconds off the clock. Go Birds. All right. Panthers get the ball to begin the second half, 1st and 10 on their 16. Darnold throws a pass to the left to Tremble. We bring 4, unable to get any pressure. 7-yard completion brings up 2nd and 3 on Carolina's 23. Hubbard runs to the left for 8 yards, brings up 1st and 10, Carolina 31. Darnold throws a pass to Hubbard over the left-hand side, no gain. We bring 4, can't get pressure. We have excellent coverage, nobody's open. He dumps it off to Hubbard. Avery makes a great open field tackle. Brings up 2nd and 10 on Carolina's 31. Darnold in the gun again. We bring 4. We can't get pressure initially. Darnold misses their tight end Thomas open over the middle. Barnett's working on their left tackle Moton and eventually gets inside and hits Darnold right after he releases the ball, causing a poor throw to Freeman. Great play by Barnett to keep working. The pass falls incomplete. Barnett was actually injured on that play, but he eventually came back, so it wasn't anything serious. That brings up a 3rd and 10 on Carolina's 31. Darnold in the gun again. We rush 5. We do a cross stunt with Hargrave and Cox, but we can't get any pressure. Darnold throws the ball to the left for Anderson, who's covered really well by Nelson. Nelson's able to knock the ball down. Great job as the secondary because everybody was covered. It wasn't just Anderson that was covered. So good job by the secondary in coverage. And I don't, I should have written it down. I don't know if we were in zone. Yeah, if we were in zone or man. I think we were probably in man. We're actually not a bad man coverage team. So after that incompletion, 4th and 10, they punt. We get the ball 1st and 10 on Carolina's 49 with 12:35 left in the third quarter. We run Sanders up the middle for 1 yard, brings up 2nd and 9 on Carolina's 48. Hurts is in the gun. They show blitz. They drop back and only bring 4. Hurts fakes to Sanders and rolls right. Pump fakes to Rager, who, if he throws it deep enough, could probably outrun Jackson. He also had Goddard open early as well. He doesn't do either of those. He pulls it down and runs. So he gets 4 yards on that run. Again, had he, he had taken a lot of shots earlier in the season, some of which were poor decisions. I think he had a shot with this one. Rager was, as he was rolling, Rager was just breaking even with the corner. And you know what they say, if you're even, if I'm even, I'm leaving, right? So if when the quarterback looks at the receiver and he's even with the corner, you throw the ball and he'll run under it. So again, something missed by Hurts here that I think he could have made. So that 4-yard scramble brings up 3rd and 5 on Carolina's 44. We're in the gun again, drops back, good protection. There was a quick, accurate pass to Smith as he cuts inside, grabs it with both hands. As he turns upfield, Jackson hits the ball loose. Chin recovers it and takes it down to Carolina 49. So pretty shitty fumble by Devonta Smith, who, again, is doing okay. Top receiver, right? But I had higher hopes for how he's been going. So that brings the Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their 49 with 11:04 left in the third quarter. They run Hubbard to the right for 2 yards. Brings up 2nd and 8 on our 49. They run Hubbard up the middle for 3 yards. 3rd and 5 on our 46. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. They double Hargrave, leaving Cox man versus right guard Miller, which is a bad idea to leave Cox man, only single blocked. He bull rushes right guard Miller back into Darnold. Coverage is good downfield. Darnold steps up. Cox grabs him for a sack and a 7-yard loss. Excellent play by Cox for the 3-yard loss. Excellent play by the secondary. Brings up a 4th and 8, and they punt. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 16 with 9:02 left in the third quarter. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. Good protection. Throws a deep pass on the left sideline to Ertz, who has a step on his man, but the pass is too far. Can't grab it, out of his reach. He put too much air under it and threw it too far. Jackson was double covering. I think it might have been Devonta Smith. He peels off of that route, easily picks off the ball at the Carolina 45. Not a bad decision to throw the ball. Ertz was open. Bad throw. If he throws the ball on a rope, right? So it was more of a balloon throw, right? He throws it more on a route, gives it more, throws it harder, and squeezes it in there. Excellent pass. Ertz hopefully catches it, a good completion, but he throws it too high and too far out of Ertz's reach and into the corner's reach. He also stares to the left of the field. This is something that he did well last year. And he again, I'm just getting that new look, but he stared down the left of the field, which made it very easy for the corner covering the receiver deep to peel off. Just keeping an eye on his eyes and seeing him stare that way, isn't good. If he had been looking around the field, he may have seen that Gainwell was wide open on the right-hand side and chose to throw it that way. But anyway, that interception gives Carolina the ball 1st and 10 on their 45 with 8:56 left in the third quarter. They run a screen to the left. Great open field tackle by Epps, but still gets 7 yards. Brings up 2nd and 3 on our 48. They run Hubbard up the middle for 11 yards. Fortunately, they hold. So that brings up 2nd and 12 on their 43. Darnold's under center. He drops back. We rush 4. Can't get pressure. Coverage is excellent downfield, especially Slay on Moore. Looking at all the receivers that were out there, he was covered by far the best. But for some reason, Darnold throws the ball anyway. It's a weak throw, right? If he would have thrown it on a rope again, maybe Slay can't jump in front of it as easily. But it's not a hard thrown ball. It's in front of the receiver, which means Slay can just jump in front of it, pick it off, takes it down to R43. Excellent coverage all around, especially by Slay. Great job by Slay jumping in front of that play. Splay, play. Go Birds. So we get the ball back. 1st and 10 on our 43 with 7:38 left in the third quarter. Hurts in the gun, throws a pass to the left to Goddard. They bring 5. We pick it up. Hurts throws a quick, accurate pass to the left side for Goddard. Puts a move on their corners Chin and Jackson. Gets an extra 5 yards, so it's an 8-yard completion. Brings up 2nd and 2 on Carolina's 49. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. Fakes to Sanders. Initially, protection is good, but no one's open. He's looking for Smith, who's running a deep pattern. Watkins flashes open, but Riddick is able to get around Mailata and hit around Mailata's and hit Hurts as his drop back. He hits his drop back, right? So he drops, I think, 5 steps. As he hits the 5th step, gets hit by Riddick. Doesn't have time to see Watkins. It's an 8-yard sack, a sack for an 8-yard loss. So that brings up 3rd and 10 on our 43. Hurts is in the gun again. He drops back. Riddick gets around Mailata again, who had a couple of bad plays. Has a free shot at Hurts. If Hurts stands in the pocket, he'd see Watkins open over the middle, but he has to evade Riddick. Can't get away. Gets sacked for another 8-yard loss. So we got 4th and 18 on our 35. We punt. Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their 28. 5:38 left in the third quarter. Darnold throws a pass over the middle to Hubbard. We bring 5. We can't get to Darnold, and it's a 5-yard completion. 2nd and 5 on Carolina's 33. Darnold in the gun again. We bring 4. We can't get pressure. We're in zone. Huge space between the linebackers and in front of the safeties. Darnold dumps it over the middle to Thomas for 24 yards. Poor coverage. We struggle in zone against Sam Darnold, of all people, right? That brings up 1st and 10 on our 43. They run Hubbard to the left for 1 yard. Hubbard tries to run outside. Harris does an excellent job with an open field tackle on the outside. Brings up 2nd and 9 on our 42. Darnold in the gun again. Throws a pass to the left to DJ Moore. Barnett, uses an inside move to get around their left tackle Moulton, puts pressure on Darnold, has to dump it off to Moore. But Harris is there and provides another solid open field tackle to cut Moore's gain to only 2 yards. So good play, putting pressure on Darnold. Good play, tackling him right away. So that brings up 3rd and 7 on our 40. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We bring 4. Barnett and Hargrave cross stunt. Hargrave runs outside untouched, chases Darnold. Is able to get his hands on him and start to tackle him, but Darnold throws the ball away right at the last minute, not counting as a sack, counting as an incompletion. So excellent play by Hargrave. Good job on our secondary because nobody was open either. So they punt on 4th and 7. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 20 with 2:27 left in the third quarter. Run Miles Sanders to the right for 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6 on our 24. Hurts in the gun again, throws a pass to the left to Devontae Smith for 13 yards. Brings up 1st and 10 on our 37. Hurts throws a screen to Devontae Smith, this time for 5 yards. Unfortunately, Dickerson's false start. That brings up 2nd and 5 on our 42. Then Dickerson false starts. So we got a 2nd and 10 on our 37. Hurts in the gun again, throws a pass over the middle. They bring 5. We pick it up well. Their defensive tackle Brown's able to eventually bull rush Driscoll, hits Hurts' arm as he's throwing, cause an incomplete pass. Honestly, I don't know that it would have been better off if he would have made that pass or if it would have been in the air. Because he was staring down Smith the whole time. The safety was anticipating the throw and most likely could have either broken it up or picked it off. So that brings up 3rd and 10 on our 37. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. They bring 5. We initially pick it up. Eventually, their defensive end Fox cross stunts inside, gets around Dickerson, starts to pressure Hurts. Hurts this time stands in the pocket, launches a deep pass downfield. Watkins plants his foot and fakes that he's going right, cuts inside to the left. Their safety, Franklin, gets turned around. Rule number 1 of a corner, never gets spun around. He loses position. Watkins takes off, catches the ball for a 53-yard completion. Excellent play by Watkins. Good route. Good job by Hurts stepping into the pocket and throwing the ball, even though he got hit. And good catch by Watkins. So that 53-yard play gave us a 1st and goal on Carolina's 10. Hurts throws an incomplete pass to Smith, but they're called for defensive pass interference. So we get 1st and goal on the 1. Hurts sneaks up the middle for 1 yard and a touchdown. We kick the extra point. It's good. So that makes the score 15-13 in favor of the Panthers. That was a 6-play, 80-yard drive. Took 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Go Birds. Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their 25. 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They run Hubbard to the left for 8 yards. Fortunately, there's an offensive holding. It doesn't say what position Paradis is. Probably a tackle or a guard. Holding, 10-yard penalty. So the 4th quarter starts. Carolina has the ball 1st and 18 on their own 17-yard line. Darnold in the gun again. Throws one over the middle to Marshall. We bring 4. Can't get pressure. 8-yard completion. Brings up 2nd and 10 on Carolina's 25. We bring Darnold in the shotgun again. Throws a screen to Hubbard. He gets 9 yards. Brings up 3rd and 1 on Carolina's 34. Hubbard runs to the left for 6 yards. Brings up 1st and 10 on Carolina's 40. Darnold throws a pass this time to Thomas on the right. He gets 4 yards, but Devion Tackle does a great job catching. Devion Taylor was in coverage. Doesn't do a very good job in coverage, but after the ball's caught, does a good job tackling immediately. So it limits the yardage to 4. Brings up 2nd and 6 on Carolina's 44. Darnold in the gun. We blitz Taylor. He can't get there in time. We're in man. Moore and tight end Tremble cross patterns. Moore's wide open. Darnold throws a pass to the right for 7 yards and a 1st and 10 on our 49. They run Hubbard to the right for 11 yards, brings up 1st and 10 on our 38. They run Hubbard to the right for 3 yards, brings up 2nd and 7 on our 35. Darnold under the center scrambles. We bring 4. Barnett and Sweat beat their men deep. Coverage is excellent downfield, so Darnold runs straight up the middle, 5 yards. Brings up 3rd and 2 on our 30. Freeman runs up the middle and loses a yard. Good job by Avery and Sweat to fill the hole. And that brings up 4th and 3 from our 31, so they kick a field goal. That makes the score 13-18 in favor of the Panthers. It was an 11-play, 44-yard drive. Took 6 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock. We get the ball 1st and 10 on our 25 with 8:29 left in the game. Miles Sanders runs to the right for 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6 on our 29. Hurts is in the gun. He runs an RPO, keeps it, able to get 14 yards. Good play by Hurts. Brings up 1st and 10 on our 43. Hurts is in the gun, drop back. It looks like a screen to Rager to the right, but Mailata goes right immediately after the snap, goes right down the field to block, which you're supposed to wait a few seconds if you're not aware. These offensive linemen aren't supposed to just sprint downfield off the block, because that doesn't give the quarterback enough time to get the ball and throw it before he's downfield and illegally downfield, right? Reddick gets a free pass too because he doesn't chip Reddick or anything. Hurts is able to avoid the sack, rolls right, throws it away, but Mailata was illegally downfield, so we get penalized. Brings up 1st and 15 on our 38. Hurts in the gun again, has good protection. Smith runs a great route, starts deep, cuts inside, turns around, runs back to Hurts. Hurts throws it to the right to Smith for 14 yards. Good play all around. Brings up 2nd and 1 on Carolina's 48. We run Sanders up the middle for 3 yards. 1st and 10 on Carolina's 45. Hurts in the gun, runs an RPO left, keeps it for 6 yards. Brings up 2nd and 4 on Carolina's 39. Hurts in the gun again. Their defensive tackle Nixon pushes Dickerson to the right, pushes him to the side. Dickerson has been unfortunately very easy to get around sometimes. I heard so many things about him being such a monster in college. The pressure from Nixon causes Hurts to run right. Eventually he has to throw it away. No one's open. Receivers have to do a better job of getting open when he scrambles like that. 3rd and 4 on Carolina's 39. Hurts is in the gun. He drops back. Reddick gets around Mailata. Luvu cross stunts around Dickerson for a free on Hurts. Hurts misses Goddard open across the field. lofts the ball up for Gainwell. Not a bad decision again, just a bad throw. Gainwell's open, has a few steps on Carter, but the pass is not long enough. It was a good pass too. He floated it, so could have easily made it over and allowed Gainwell to run under it. Just not fast, just not far enough. Thank goodness Carter doesn't turn around, because it would have been an easy interception. So 4th and 4 on Carolina's 39. We decide to go for it. Hurts in the gun, throws a quick, decent pass to Ertz on a deep slant. Ertz has to jump for it. Admittedly, not the best pass, not the easiest catch. Gets both hands on it, but can't catch it. So another incomplete pass, another drop by Ertz. That ends the drive. Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their own 39, 5:35 left in the game. Hubbard runs to the left for 2 yards, brings up 2nd and 8 on Carolina's 41. Hubbard to the left for 5 yards. 3rd and 3 on Carolina's 46. Darnold in the gun, rolls right. We can't get any pressure because of the roll. He throws to an open Anderson, who drops the ball. So falls incomplete. Thank you, Anderson. So that incompletion brings up 4th and 3 on Carolina's 46. They punt. Charlton goes back to punt. TJ Edwards is able to get through. Smart, puts his arm in the way of the punt. Doesn't jump, so he hits the punter. Blocks the punt. Sean Bradley, who hasn't got very much playing time this year at all, recovers it at Carolina's 27. Excellent play by TJ Edwards. We get the ball 1st and 10 on Carolina's 27 with 3:53 left in the game. We run Miles Sanders to the right for 1 yard. Brings up 2nd and 9 on Carolina's 26. Hurts in the gun, drops back. They bring 5. We pick it up well. Hurts throws an accurate pass to Goddard, who finds a space in the zone. Great protection, great pass. Good job by Goddard getting open and catching the ball. 20-yard completion. 1st and goal on Carolina's 6. Hurts in the shotgun, drops back. This is the one where he drops back, throws to the left to Goddard. Goddard sort of trips out of his cut and drops the ball. So not common for Goddard to drop the ball, but this would have easily been a touchdown had he caught it. Fortunately enough, though, 2nd and goal from the 6, we run an RPO. Hurts runs it over the left for a touchdown. So it isn't a total loss that Goddard dropped that ball. We go for 2 because then we'd have a 3-point advantage. Hurts is in the gun. The only person we have, odd formation. Everybody's lined up. The only lineman to the right of Kelsey at center is Driscoll. We don't have a tackle. When the play hits, Driscoll doubles with Kelsey on Brown, leaving Reddick on the right-hand side unblocked, giving him a free run at Hurts. Again, fortunately, Hurts is mobile, able to make a move, rolls to his right. Smith is open early, but he can't hit him because Hurts is avoiding the Reddick. He gets around Reddick, sees Smith open, throws a quick, accurate pass in the end zone. We successfully get that 2-point conversion. So that makes the score 21-18 in favor of your Philadelphia Eagles. That was a 4-play, 27-yard drive. Took 1 minute and 15 seconds off the clock. We kick off. Panthers get the ball 1st and 10 on their 25 with 2:38 left in the game. Darnold in the gun, drops back, throws a good pass to Tremble, who's open on a slant route. He drops it. Thank you, Tremble. Brings up 2nd and 10 on Carolina's 25. Darnold in the gun again. We don't get pressure. Throws a pass to Thomas. This time it's behind him. Bad throw. Falls incomplete. This is again, both times they were open, but we were fortunate because in one stop the receiver dropped it, and the other situation the quarterback threw a bad pass. Doesn't happen against the good teams. That's why we haven't been beating the good teams. So that brings up 3rd and 10 on Carolina's 25. They false start. 3rd and 15 on Carolina's 20. Darnold in the gun. We bring 4. We don't get any pressure. Nelson gives Anderson a good 3+ yard cushion because they're concerned about deep passes. They're concerned about getting beat all the way deep. Instead, he gets mediocre deep for 25 yards. Brings up 1st and 10 on Carolina's 45. Darnold in the gun again. We rush 4. No pressure. Anderson's open. Bad throw. Incomplete. So thank you again, Sam Darnold. In addition, there was offensive holding. So it brings up 1st and 20 on Carolina's 35. Darnold's in the gun. He drops back. We bring 4. We're not able to get any pressure. Nelson is covering Anderson man. Darnold stares down Anderson. Rule number 1 of horrible quarterbacking. Anderson runs a deep out pattern. Does a poor job. If you're familiar with running patterns, you want to pretend like you're running deep. Plant your foot, cut left. Instead, Anderson rounds the pattern off. So no surprise. Nelson's able to read the pattern. Nelson's able to read Darnold's eyes, steps in front of Anderson, picks the ball off, takes it down to Carolina's 43. Great coverage by Nelson on the poor play. Good job with the interception as well. After that interception brings up the 2-minute warning. Go Birds. This gets a little disappointing. First and 10, we got the ball Carolina 43 with 1:57 left. Carolina only has all their timeouts left. We run Miles Sanders to the left. He goes out of bounds. What the fuck, right? Pushed out of bounds. Why would he get pushed out of bounds? He needs to stay in bounds. It would force Carolina to take a timeout, but he doesn't. Goes out of bounds, stops the clock. 2nd and 3 on Carolina's 36. We run Miles Sanders to the left again. This time he actually stays in bounds, gets 18 yards, best run of the game. Fortunately, he stays in bounds, so Carolina is forced to take their timeout. 1:43 left. 1st and 10 on Carolina's 18. We run to the right again. He goes out of bounds. Miles Sanders runs out of bounds and loses 3 yards. Who gives a shit if he loses yards? But why does he go out of bounds? Stops the clock. They don't have to use another one of their timeouts. 2nd and 13 on Carolina's 21. 1:38 left in the game. We're in the shotgun. We run Gainwell to the left. He stays in bounds. He gets 12 yards, so we get a first down. Carolina has to use their second timeout. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a 12-yard play on 2nd and 13, so it's 3rd and 1. 1 minute and 31 seconds left in the game. Hurts in the gun. He runs to the right for 1 yard. Carolina takes their last timeout. We get a first and goal on their 8. We kneel on it. 2nd and goal on the 9. We kneel on it. End of game. So we win 21-18. Not a good game by the Eagles, with the exception of the interceptions, but it's still a win. Your starters in that game, of course, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. Miles Sanders was the starting running back, had 75% of the snaps. Gainwell had 24. So we did keep Sanders in more often. We still did not give him the ball very much. Technically, Ertz was the starting tight end. He played 60% of the plays. Dallas Goedert played 67. Our starting receivers were Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, and Jalen Reagor, which I don't know that I would disagree with. I might throw Reagor out and pull in Greg Ward, put Ward in the slot. Watkins and Smith are the outside receivers. I think Ward last year did an excellent job getting open. He already has a touchdown. He's been in minimally and has some production. I know he did have a drop, but let's not talk about that. Greg Ward did play 16% of the plays. Arcega-Whiteside played 4. He's a good blocking receiver. He's a tall guy too, which again, I would probably play him more often as well over Jalen Reagor, who hasn't really done anything meaningful because he's big. Against these smaller corners, you throw the ball high and he's got a much better shot. Devonta Smith played 93% of the snaps, Quez Watkins 82, and Reagor 70. Offensive linemen, Andre Dillard, Jason Kelsey, Jordan Mailata, Jack Driscoll all played 100% of the snaps. Dickerson played 82, and Nate Herbig was in there for 18. On defense, the defensive line, starters were Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and Derek Barnett. Sweat was 75%, Hargrave 69, Fletcher Cox 72, Derek Barnett 70. We rotate a lot of people on the defensive line. So Hassan Ridgey was in there for 30%, Ryan Kerrigan 30%, Milton Williams, the rookie, 30%, Teron Jackson, the rookie, 25%. Starting linebackers were Singleton and Avery. Singleton was in 75% of the snaps, Avery 51. We also rotated in Eric Wilson. He had 41%, Devion Taylor 34%, and TJ Edwards 23%. Starting corners, Steve Nelson, Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox. Nelson and Slay were 100% of the snaps, Maddox 77. Safeties were Rodney McLeod and Anthony Harris. Harris was in 100%. McLeod was in 72, and Epps was in 28. Hurts' stats ended 22 for 37. That was a 59.5% completion percentage, which is poor. Admittedly, Ertz dropped the ball a couple of times, and there were some throwaways. He only had 198 passing yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked twice for 16 yards loss, and his quarterback rating was a poor 62.7. He also added 9 rushes for 30 yards and did have 2 rushing touchdowns, and that was a 3.3 rushing average. Miles Sanders, a little bit more rushing attempts than he had last time, 11 for 45 yards, which is a 4.1 average. He also had 5 receptions on 5 targets, so he caught every ball that was thrown to him, but only got 6 yards, which is a 1.2 average. Lost a lot of yardage on some of those screens. Gainwell did not get nearly as much touches. He had 2 rushes for 16 yards. One of those was that 12-yarder at the end of the game. Averaged 8 yards a carry. Also had 1 reception on 3 targets for 8 yards. As a team, again, we only ran the ball 22 times, and 9 of those were Hurts, which I don't like to see him running the ball that much, and I don't like to see us running the ball that little. Devontae Smith, top receiver, 7 receptions on 8 targets for 77 yards, which is an 11 per reception average. Not bad. Ertz was targeted 6 times and had 1 reception for 7 yards. So admittedly, they weren't all drops, but 3 of them were? We did poorly on third down. We were 4 for 13, which is 30.8%. Although our defense did well on third down defense, they were only 5 for 15, which is 33.3%. So slightly better than we were, but still good for defense. We were 0 for 1 on fourth down. That's not good. We were 2 for 4 in the red zone in offense, 2 for 4 goal to go on offense. Carolina was 1 for 2 in the red zone. So I hate to see anything for total yardage. We had 273. They had 267. Rushing, we had 91. They had 109. And passing, we had 198. They had 177. And that's gross passing, not including the yards lost for sacks. And they had the ball significantly longer, which if you watch the game, you could feel. We had the ball 24 minutes and 57 seconds. They had it 35:03. Okay, let's talk about some injuries real quick, right? Lane Johnson, I don't know what his personal matter is, but it kept him out of practice. It kept him out of the game against Carolina, kept him out of practice all weekend, is going to keep him out of the game against Tampa Bay. Dallas Goedert was added to the COVID-19 list, COVID-19 reserve list. Doesn't necessarily mean he has it, but he may have been in close connection with somebody, may have tested positive. But that happened on Tuesday, so most likely he's not going to be available tomorrow night for the Bucs game. Everyone else was a full participant. Everyone else is expected to play. Another injury note, Carson Wentz played again 100% of the offensive snaps against Baltimore. Remember the break even, assuming that snap counts are equal in every game, which they're not, would be 12 games and 3/4 of a game. So if he makes it through week 13, pretty good chances that we're going to get that extra first round pick. And that's if they don't make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, which I don't think is very likely, well, I guess actually they almost beat Baltimore, right? So maybe it is more likely than I think. If they make it to the playoffs, he's only got to make it through 12 games. Again, if snap counts are all equal. We made a couple of roster moves. We signed linebacker Christian Ellis and tight end Noah Togai to the practice squad. We released tight end Nick Eubanks and wide receiver Travis Fulgham, who was our leading wide receiver last year, from the practice squad. Some miscellaneous news. TJ Edwards, we talked about his punt block. Excellent play by TJ Edwards to special teams. He was the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. And some miscellaneous NFL news. Through week 5, there have been 16 missed field goals and 13 missed extra points. Go Birds. I don't think... did we miss a field goal? No. I know we didn't miss any extra points, right? And through week 5, 19 games have been decided in the final minute of regulation or overtime. That's the most in NFL history through week 5. And the total of 21 games have been decided by 3 points or less. I mentioned it with the schedule. The NFL is adding a Monday night game to Wild Card Weekend. First time ever that there's a Monday night game on Wild Card Weekend. Sometimes, Wild Card Weekend usually has a night game, Sunday night game, I think. But now it's also going to have a Monday night game, and that's going to be aired on typical Monday Night Football, ESPN, ABC. They have exclusive rights. Okay, let's get to the Bald Eagle fact. All right. So I always talk at the end of this, towards the end of the show, I go over a fact in reference to the Bald Eagles, right? In reference to the Eagles. I go back pretty far too. I went back to the first year they were in the league, 1933, have been progressively moving closer. I've gone over things like their Pro Bowl players from every year, the draft class, right? The NFL came out with the greatest 100 list. It had the greatest plays, the greatest games, the greatest teams. So I've been going through that. So today I'm going to talk about the NFL's greatest 100 teams. The lowest one we have is number 152. We have 2 more that I think are higher. And they're saying that the 52nd best team in the NFL's history was the 1960 Philadelphia Eagles. Now, because you know that I'm going over every game of the Eagles season, eventually I'm going to get to the 1960 Philadelphia Eagles. But this time I'm going to recap why they were considered the best team, the 52nd best team ever. Thanks for watching, Hockey's Mom. Okay, so the 1960 Eagles were 10-2, best record in the NFL. That included a 9-game winning streak between week 2 and 11. They were the third highest scoring offense in the NFL. They had the most touchdown passes in the NFL with 29. Second highest passing yards in the NFL with 2,816, which doesn't sound like much, but the NFL was very different in the 60s. They featured players on their team like MVP quarterback Norm Van Brocklin. For this game, the NFL championship was actually, and they were the greatest team, but this season he was 34. It was his last NFL season. He had a career high 24 touchdown passes, and he led the Eagles to several, I couldn't find out how many, fourth quarter comeback wins. The team also included Pro Bowlers halfback Tommy McDonald and Pete Ratzlaff and tight end Bobby Walston. We played in the NFL championship. We played against a Vince Lombardi coached Packer team that included Hall of Famers like quarterback Bart Starr, running back Paul Hornung, and a guy you may have heard of, fullback Jim Taylor, that monster who used to run over people. The game in the NFC championship was close. We actually were losing in the fourth quarter, 13-10, right after Bart Starr threw a touchdown pass to Max McGee. Ted Dean then returned the ensuing kickoff 58 yards. We drove down the field, down to the 5-yard line. Ted Dean then ran the ball in, 5-yard touchdown, making the score 17-13. We win the NFL championship. Chuck Bednarik, who was another Hall of Famer who was on the team, he played 58 minutes on both offense and defense. He was called Concrete Chuck. I did a whole thing on him because he's one of the first Hall of Famers. He was also the last two-way player. What they call them? 60-minute men, Iron Men, guys who played both offense and defense. He was one of the last guys to do that. The reason I think they're saying that this is one of the best teams, the 52nd best team in NFL history, is because this was the only team to have beaten Vince Lombardi in the playoffs. So that's that. Well, 1960 Philadelphia Eagles, the 52nd greatest team in NFL history. All right. Do me a favor. Don't go yet. Don't leave me. Take a look at the screen. Look at all the shows you can get on Philly Sports Alliance, right? On Mondays, we got the Football Smack Talk show. They talk about the whole NFL. Of course, we prefer the Philadelphia teams, but I'm sorry, the Eagles, but we talk about all football, right? I'm exclusively Eagles. They talk about everything. And that features Ryan Reese and Eric Ward. Mondays at 7:30, the Diamond Club podcast, featuring John Hunter, Chris Lahiff, Danny Hart. If you like the Phillies, watch that. I think they're all baseball too, but primarily Phillies. We'll listen and watch that podcast. Tuesdays at 6:30, we got the Philly Broadcast. That features Ryan Reese and Ryan Finneran. This is a all Philly 4-sport podcast. So we have all 4 sports covered in Philadelphia, and they know much more about the non-football sports than I do. Of course, Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, you are glued to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you prefer, watching the Bald Eagle podcast. 100% Philadelphia Eagles. Most in-depth play-by-play analysis, 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. After my show at 8 o'clock is Mixed Sports. It's an all-football show featuring Eric Ward and Jay Landry. They talk about the whole NFL. Of course, I believe, actually, Eric Ward's an Eagles fan, but Jay Landry is a douchebag Cowgirls fan. So watch just to see them go back and forth and make fun of Jay Landry and the Cowgirls, even though they're fucking winning. Thursdays at 5:30, Tendies on Patterson. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Tendies on Pattison. Featuring Paul Batcho, Jack Griffin, Chris Lahiff. That's a Flyers show. And then Thursdays at 7, last but not least, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, featuring Eric Ward and Joe Barry. It's a wrestling show. We got you covered. All Philadelphia sports, all the NFL, baseball, hockey, and wrestling. No reason not to watch. So do me a favor. In addition to watching all those, go to YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Follow, like, share Philly Sports Alliance posts. Do the same thing with the Bald Eagle podcast. As a little bit of a tip, I'm not famous enough yet for you to just Google Bald Eagle podcast or Bald Eagle in any of those search engines. So the Bald Eagle podcast will get you all my stuff. Make sure you type it out fully, especially in YouTube. All right. That's it for me. Go Birds.